All right, some breaking news coming in at this moment. Headlines today has learned that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who breaks tradition to inaugurate the Aero India just moments from now, will be making a 5-point pitch to the world's biggest aircraft makers in Bengaluru today, sending out a clear political message on what his government hopes to achieve in the sensitive area of defense manufacturing. That's the latest that we are hearing. We'll try playing out those visuals coming in live from Doordarshan News now from Bengaluru. That's the Yelahanka Air Base, where you can see that the proceedings have begun. We'll dip into that live feed that is actually coming in once the moment we spot the Prime Minister over there. Remember, a lot of companies are presently at that particular event. As we are in fact telling you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to make a 5-point pitch to the world's biggest aircraft makers of aircraft manufacturers in Bengaluru today. Now, he proposes to send out a clear political message on what his government hopes to achieve in the sensitive area of defense manufacturing. There you can see the Prime Minister actually in attendance at that particular event. He's expected to speak any minute now. He has arrived at the Aero India function at the Yelahanka Air Base in Bengaluru. Now, first, India intends to be the port of call for defense manufacturing. Let's take us through those 5 points that we have been able to gather that Prime Minister is likely to make. First, that India intends to be the port of call for defense manufacturing. Second, that India is prepared to be a manufacturing hub for global customers, not just the Indian armed forces. Third, that procedures to invest in Indian defense industry will be one of the friendliest in the world. Fourth, that the Indian private sector is fully ready for partnership. Let's quickly listen in to the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar now speaking.
Honorable Pradhan Mantri Ji, Honorable Vajubhai Wala Ji, Honorable Sitharamaiah Ji, Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation Ganpati Raju Ji, my colleague Anand Kumar Ji, my colleague Rao Indrajit Singh, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for this Aero Show in this city of Bengaluru, which is a natural place for such Aero shows. With all aeronautic industry around it, I think this city has been witnessing Aero Show for past so many occasions. And I take this opportunity to welcome all those. The very fact that all companies representing the big of aero industry are here indicates that this Aero Show is gaining popularity. With the security scenario around our country, it is very important that India becomes self-sufficient in defense and defense production. And in this very atmosphere, Prime Minister Ji has given a clarion call for Make in India, and Department of Defense has taken on itself to ensure that this Make in India happens. This is an immensely important value and important time for ensuring that the business deals are stuck up so that our target for Make in India is made a big success. I take this opportunity once again to welcome all of you and expect you to see the extensive exhibition which has received tremendous response, making this Aero Show a very special show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Raksha Mantri, for your warm opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Sitharamaiah with us. As Chief Minister of the state, he has worked for the welfare.
Okay, so that was the Defence Minister formally throwing open the Aero Show. We are expecting the Prime Minister to also speak. Remember, the news that we are getting to all our viewers at this moment. A Headlines Today exclusive that the Prime Minister proposes to make a 5-point pitch to the world's biggest aircraft makers in Bengaluru today to send out a clear political message on what his government actually hopes to achieve in this particular area. Jugal Purohit now joins us from that particular venue. Jugal, can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Ankit, I can.
Okay, Jugal, can you tell us what exactly is happening and what really are these 5 points that the Prime Minister proposes to make? We all know that there is, and we can see that lion also over there, the Make in India logo. So obviously the pitch is very clear as far as the government is concerned.
Remarkable history of achieving consistently.
Sanket, you know, the most important point out here, which cannot be missed, is the fact that for the first time, the Prime Minister himself has decided to lend his weight to the Aero India show in its 2-decade-old existence. Never before has the Prime Minister personally been present to sort of inaugurate the function and give it the kind of direction that is required. The very fact that he is here, in a sense, signals that this is time, and this is the moment. The bureaucracy, the government, the armed forces, they all have to fall in line together to ensure that Make in India does not merely remain a paper slogan, that it translates into what is required. And the most important point, Sanket, is that as this Aero Show gets underway, we will be very soon seeing a display of different aircraft. 72 aircraft are participating. More than 600 companies, foreign and as well as domestic, are participating. These are records which have never ever been seen before. However, it's also a natural growth trajectory. Being the world's largest arms bazaar, it's hardly surprising that there's every seller who's come here to set up shop.
Absolutely.
The key is that
Jugal, absolutely, that particular point that you're making is actually the most crucial. Apart from those aerobatics or those lovely visuals that we are going to see from that particular Aero Show, it also boils down to the fact that there are many countries who are representing their particular planes because they see a natural market in India, and particularly the defense forces.
Thereby providing tremendous opportunities for participation by Indian industry. Defense Outlet Clause has also opened up new opportunities.
Jugal, can you hear me?
In this sector.
Jugal, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, sir. Can you repeat your question?
Obviously, as far as these people are concerned who are going to we are going to see those skills as far as aerobatic skills are concerned. But there is a serious side to this Aero Show. I mean, a lot of people are trying to hard sell their product. They see a natural market in India.
Estimated to reach 1,300 crore.
That's right, Sanket. In fact, if you are to look at the kind of requirements that the Indian Armed Forces require, that are there in the offing, the Indian Air Force, for example, has dipping fighter plane squadrons. It needs a massive induction of fighter planes. We are aware that the Dassault, that's a Rafale fighter jet, is in the fray. 126, close to 600 helicopters for the Indian Armed Forces, be it the Navy, Army or the Air Force, are also in the offing. And so is the scene for the Navy, for the Army. So there is a plethora of products which the Indian Armed Forces require. Not just that, this Aero India, let's not make the mistake, also caters to civil aviation. In India, we are given to understand that 70,000 crore worth investment has to go into the civil aviation sector by 2020. That's just 5 years from now on. 350 to 400 airports have to be made in India. So the potential is enormous, and sky proverbially, as they say, is the limit. The question is how much of it can we actually contribute in terms of our own manufacturing, our own job creation, our own internal industry, and will this golden opportunity to, in a sense, re-equip and reinvigorate Indian sector, be it civil, military, aviation, will the Indian state let go of this opportunity yet again, or will we actually hold on, latch on to it, in fact, and ensure that the manufacturing is done in India, the technology transfer is done in India, the Indian industry, the Indian public employment grows. All of these are questions which really require answers. And as I said, that the fact that the Prime Minister himself is here is a huge signal. It has in fact lifted up the entire morale of this Aero India show, because as I said, in its 2-decade-old existence, the Prime Minister, unfortunately, the office has never seen it fit to again. But by coming here, Prime Minister has signaled that his office is very much interested, and perhaps this will be that period which has been long awaited in the Indian aviation civil or military sector, hoping that perhaps now there will be a change and India will shed the dubious distinction of being the world's largest arms importer. Back to you.
Absolutely. Jugal Purohit, they're getting us all the latest. We'll of course come back to you, Jugal, as when the Prime Minister starts speaking. We'll cut across live to what the PM actually has to say, because we here at Headlines Today have some sort of an understanding of what exactly is the PM likely to propose. Now, as India's big air show kicks off, the biggest question hangs over this aircraft, the French Rafale. 3 years ago, the Indian government chose the jet for a mother of all deals, 126 aircraft worth up to 1 lakh crore rupees. The question now is whether Prime Minister Modi, who has shown a keen interest in the armed forces, will push the troubled deal through.
Defense ministers, senior officials, and hundreds of business leaders from around the world. A big welcome to each of you. This is the largest ever Aero India. This reflects a new level of confidence within our country and global interest in India. To many of you, India is a major business opportunity. We have the reputation as the largest importer of defense equipment in the world. That may be music to the ears of some of you here, but this is one area where we would not like to be number one. Our security challenges are well known. Our international responsibilities are evident. We do need to increase our defense preparedness. We do have to modernize our defense forces. We have to equip ourselves for the needs of the future, where technology will play a major role. As a nation of 1 billion people, we also have huge requirements for managing internal security. We are increasingly integrating technology and systems into it. These opportunities make Aero India an important international event. For me, this is not just a trade fair for defense equipment. This is a mega meeting of one of the largest global supply chains with the most advanced technology and complex equipment, and a platform to launch India's defense manufacturing sector. A nation with a strong defense industry will not only be more secure, it will also reap rich economic benefits. It can boost investment, expand manufacturing, support enterprise, raise the technology level, and increase economic growth in the country. In India, the defense industry and the government sector alone employs nearly 200,000 workers and thousands of engineers and scientists. They produce an output of nearly $7 billion annually. It also supports a very large pool of small and medium enterprise. Our defense industry in private sector is still small, but it already employs thousands of people. This is despite the fact that our 60% of our defense equipment continues to be imported, and we are spending tens of billions of dollars on acquisition from abroad. There are studies that show that even a 20 to 25% reduction in imports could directly create an additional 100,000 to 120,000 highly skilled jobs in India. If we could raise the percentage of domestic procurement from 40% to 70% in the next 5 years, we would double the output in our defense industry. Imagine the impact in terms of jobs created directly in the related manufacturing and services sector. Think of the spin of benefits on other sectors in terms of advanced materials and technologies. That is why we are focusing on developing India's defense industry with a sense of mission. This is why it is at the heart of our Make in India program. We are reforming our defense procurement policies and procedures. There will be a clear preference for equipment manufactured in India. Our procurement procedures will ensure simplicity, accountability, and speedy decision making. We have raised the permitted level of foreign direct investment to 49%.